Good morning,
Okay,
Tom. Yeah, I'm really
good.
fine. And you?
After the long week, after the regular weekend, ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. The weather is really nice. I see the sun is shining. So restaurants, gardens are open.
Yes, Saturday
Yeah,
was electric. I mean, I went to a restaurant and it was on fire, excitement, interesting vibe and feel for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. On Saturday in Wrocław were so many people on the
really?
streets. Yeah, everything come back to life.
Yes, great. Okay, let's go. First story of the day.
The first story is a topic that is very close to me because I love horses and horse riding.
Huh, huh.
Yeah. Entries open for the Arabian horse auction Pride of Poland. The National Arabian Horse Show and the Pride of Poland horse auction will be held in mid-August in Janów Podlaski. The organizers hope that the restrictions will be eased soon and that the public will also be able to participate in the event. Yeah,
Yes,
I hope to.
and have you ever been to Janów Podlaski?
Unfortunately, no, but I would love to go someday because Arabian and thoroughbred horses are my favorite breeds, and I would like to see them live.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I was there about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more.
Mhm.
At the Jan Pulaski. Interesting, great place to go. Interesting. Anyway, a little controversy about this Arabian horse auction because you might remember 3 or 4 years ago, big scandal with a new piece
Yeah, I
appointing a new
remember it.
person. The big London-based supporters, especially the Rolling Stones drummer and his wife, pulled out entirely. So I don't know if they're recovering yet, but we'll see. Anyway, good to see it's back on. We'll see how it goes this year, especially during the COVID virus.
Mhm.
Okay, next story.
French fund bets against Poland, sees higher interest rate and lower prices. The French fund Carmignac, with 37 billion euros assets under management, describes Poland as a country particularly vulnerable to rising inflation and predicts that the National Bank of Poland will soon be forced to raise interest rates in order to curb price growth.
Well, this will be interesting to see. Of course, Poland has its own currency, the zloty, unlike the EU currency
Mhm.
countries. And there's always that tension between raising interest rates and reducing the growth and keeping
Mhm.
inflation in check. Anyway, we'll watch that story. We'll watch how if those guys pay off or don't pay off. We'll watch that story quite closely. Okay, next story.
Air traffic surges in April, but still 72% down from 2022. According to the data of the Polish Air Navigation Services Agency, the number of takeoffs and landings at all Polish airports in April this year was 327% higher than in April 2020. However, the pre-pandemic results were still far away. Air operations were 72% less compared to the same period of 2019.
Yeah, so I think this is basically the cup is half empty or it's half full. Depends on how you look at this. This is great news or this is horrible news.
I
But I
think
think
that
it's
it's
actually,
great news.
I think so too. Everyone knows the news has been bad. So now that we're seeing some big increase, I think that's good news. And you have any plans to get on an airplane anytime soon? Are you going to fly? Are you nervous to fly?
Yeah, no, I'm not nervous
Okay.
to fly. My first flight was very big because it was to the USA. So I
Yes.
started yeah, from the high level, a
Yes.
very long journey to the
Yes.
USA. Yeah.
Okay. You going back anytime soon to USA? Any other
Yeah,
flights?
yeah, I would like to, of
Okay.
course, in the future for sure.
Okay, so we'll see. Flights. So we're seeing a lot of increase in traffic. We're hoping that with all the hotels opening again and the COVID numbers coming down dramatically in Poland, that should be back on the burner very soon. Okay, next story about subsidies for solar.
Subsidies hot for home use PV solar panels. More than 1 billion zlotys in funding was granted to households that decided to install photovoltaic panels. There is no shortage of new applicants.
Yeah, this is, of course, a continued theme of the subsidies for clean energy, green energy. And I think there are 5,000 zloty subsidies per household for these solar panels. I mean, what's going to happen in Poland, we can easily predict. Is it like in Germany where you've got tremendous number of solar panels? That will happen in Poland as well. It may get to the point where, like in California, one of my friends said he at his home, They have the doors and windows open even in the summertime with the AC, air conditioning blowing all the time because it costs them nothing. They're making money by feeding electricity to the grid. Anyway, clear, big trend. We've seen that coming for a long time. Next story.
Great news for Wrocław because Italians expand electronics manufacturing plant near Wrocław. A new production plant will be built in Świdnica. It's very close. The Italian company Alms Poland, based in Wrocław, bought a plot of 1 hectare from the city over $1 million.
Okay, great. Well, this is, of course, the overall trend is these guys are supplying or equipment for household appliances for Electrolux, among other companies. And so this is a classic supplier network. Big suppliers come in, whether it's big household goods manufacturers like Electrolux or car manufacturers, and all the supplier guys follow them. And this is Italians following the main supplier. And secondly, it's a reinvestment. They've been here for 5 years. Another investment, another endorsement of Polish manufacturing. Okay, next story. My favorite one for the day. Next one, go.
Okay, so interesting. Nevomo Transport Tech raises 1 million euros via second seeds crowdfunding round. Nevomo, a Poland-based transportation tech, has successfully surpassed its initial 1 million euros funding target through its equity crowdfunding campaign on Seeds. Seeders. Formerly named Hyper Poland and started in 2015, Nevomo has developed technology for a mag-rail system, which is described as a passive magnetic levitation train operating on existing railway tracks at speeds up to 550 kilometers per hour. Yeah, am I right with this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, super fast. Interesting story because this is a former Hyper Poland led by Przemysław Pączek, who has been at this for a number of years, raised money, smaller money through Seeders, which is the UK-based equity crowdfunding platform, I guess 2 or 3 years ago. And now he's back for the next round, bigger round, 1 million euros. What's cool about what they're doing is that, first of all, they're tapping into essentially UK-based capital through Seeders, which is a London-based equity crowdfunding platform. He was at our event 2 or 3 years ago here in Poland, in Warsaw, Jeff Kaliski from Seeders. They're trying to get more deals from Central East Europe. But what is Nevomo is doing particularly is they're on this Hyperloop technology, that this big thing with Branson and Dubai, et cetera. But what they're doing is lowering the capital expenditures tremendously. So instead of the huge CapEx involved in fully new networks below the ground, very expensive, they're using existing rail in Poland and other parts of Europe to have a much more efficient, but obviously extremely fast, essentially magnetic levitation. So we'll see how it comes off, but interesting.
Yeah, it's like the impossible for me.
Yeah, it's like the Jetsons, the future, right? Exactly. Okay, cool. Next story.
Scotland's ferry delays are opportunity for Poland. The Gdańsk shipbuilding sector could be the answer to ferry woes in the west of Scotland, said a local politician, suggesting that another boat be built in Gdańsk to join the fleet of Colmac vessels.
Yeah, not a whole lot. I think it's just simply good news for Gdańsk. Gdańsk shipbuilding has been strong, of course, historically. It's remained strong, and lots of European companies continue to hire them. So good news for Gdańsk. Next story.
Debtors database will be revolution. National registry coming before December. The National Register of Debtors will be centralized information on all ARIs and debtors, as well as restructuring and bankruptcies.
Yes, so
bankruptcies. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. It's the Monday morning. Please
you do a good job. You do a great job. So this is essentially to continue digitalization of the analog world in Poland, which is lots of it. So the paperwork-centric world of Poland is becoming more digital, more centralized. This is good news. Poland is, of course, the leader in this area in Europe. Really is Estonia with their e-citizen things and incredible digital signatures, way top. Poland should aspire to that. It is aspiring to that. And this is one more step in that direction. Next story.
A residential rental market, big global money coming in. Poland has the second highest increase in residential property prices in the European Union in 2020.
Wow.
According to data by Eurostat, prices in Poland rose 11.3% in the first quarter of 2020 and by 10.9% in the second quarter of the year on year. Only Luxembourg saw a bigger increase.
Yeah. Wow, pretty interesting. Huge increase in residential property prices, right? So these big real estate funds, particularly out of Western Europe, Germany, France, UK, are saying, hey, they've been hit pretty hard on the offices the last year. The occupancy rate way down for offices. But look, everyone needs to have a house, a home, place to sleep. That's a priority. And that's, again, back to our sheds and beds discussion last week. Residential property. Poland is also very big historically on owning your own house, owning your own flat. That's not always the case in Western Europe or US. In fact, a lot of people rent long term the same flat, as we discussed, I think, last week. So this is institutional money pouring in, and they're going to be investing in flats, apartments, homes, and you will rent that forever, like it or not. Anyway, okay, next story. I think the last story.
It's the big announcement from our government.
Yes.
About Poland's New Deal and 58 billion euros of European Union funds to bolster post-COVID economy in Poland. The Polish government will boost spending on healthcare and housing as part of its sweeping stimulus plan, financed mainly from European Union funds, in an attempt to rejuvenate the economy and win back popularity.
So, yeah, well, big money coming in from the EU, Polish government with its hand out, like everyone, trying to get the free money from the EU, or nearly free money, let's say. And this is a big boost to the Polish economy coming in. Who knows how soon? Of course, there'll be a little bit of łapówka here and there, some inefficiencies here and there. But overall, big money coming in, big boost to the Polish economy. Good news.
Yeah, I've read about this morning in details. These plans are very elaborate, I can say.
Yes, big money, big plans. Cool. Okay, so that's it for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to announce our first shortlisted company or people for the North America CE Investment Summit and Awards. We're going to start with our top female execs in the US, and I'll go through the list tomorrow morning. Quite exciting, quite interesting range of different people in, and we are finishing the nominations this week, Friday. So for those who have not got your nominations in for the North America CE Investment Awards, this Friday is the deadline. Get your nomination in. Tomorrow we'll announce the first part of the shortlist. See you in the morning.
Can't wait for tomorrow. Bye, Tom.
Bye. See you, Maja. Bye.